safe place. That's what I will say.
Former police officer Ray Tenzing is not in town as his attorney prepares his case. That includes filing a motion to move Tenzing's murder trial to a new location. Evening, everyone. Thanks for joining us. The legal term is change of venue, a motion filed when there's a lot of publicity about a case. Either side can request that.
Former UC police officer Ray Tenzing's shooting of Sam DuBose made national news, and a lot has been said locally. But in the story you're seeing first on Local 12 News, Local 12's Deborah Dixon tells us history also says a lot.
This body cam video seen all over the country shows former UC cop Ray Tenzing shooting Sam DuBose during a traffic stop for having no front license plate. The country saw Tenzing in court the next day in a different kind of uniform. Prosecutor Joe Deters announced his indictment for murder.
When you lead to a murder like this, a shooting in the head where your stop was no front license plate, I mean, that's crazy.
What Deters and others said is part of a change of venue motion Tenzing's attorney is going to file.
Based on statements made by the prosecutor, Joe Deters, at the time of his announcement of the indictment, statements made by the city manager, the city mayor, the president of the University of Cincinnati, all of whom prejudged this case and tried and convicted Ray Tenzing without the benefit of a trial.
His odds of getting the trial moved?
Strongly suspect that Judge Shanahan, who will rule on it, will not grant it.
Matthews doesn't believe his change of venue motion will be granted because it never has. No one can recall a case ever being moved out of Hamilton County because of pretrial publicity, ever.
The 32 years that I was on the common pleas bench, we had that motion raised a lot of times, and it was never successful.
Judge Norbert Nadel is now retired. His last high-profile case was suspended juvenile judge Tracy Hunter's trial, charged with 9 counts of misdeeds in office. She was convicted of 1. Her attorney tried to get the trial moved, saying publicity intruded into every aspect of the case. Nadel did what all Hamilton County judges do. He let the jury selection begin to see if that's the case. A jury was picked.
And I tell them all the time, can you decide this case only on what you hear in this courtroom and not what other people say outside the courtroom? And if they say they can do that, then they're generally allowed to sit.
Notable changes of venue include the trial of Oklahoma City bomber Timothy McVeigh and the trial of 4 LA police officers for the beating of black motorist Rodney King. Riots followed their acquittal. Notable changes of venue in Hamilton County, Ohio? None. Deborah Dixon, Local 12 News.
In response to the Sam DuBose killing, State Senator Cecil Thomas has introduced legislation to make driving without a front license plate a secondary rather than a primary violation in Ohio.